as we have learned yesterday, the global world is not so easy. And especially if you want to work somewhere abroad, you should know exactly how it looks like if you go and look for a job somewhere in the world. And due to the fact that we are today in Russia, I took the headline, Russians looking for a job in Germany. I think that would be a good idea, but it could be also somewhere in the world. For common understanding, I'm not an HR specialist, but I have seen, I made a lot of interviews during my more or less 40 years career in business, and I know what I'm looking for, and please believe me, I know what I'm talking about. So I have only three main parts. I hope we can manage everything in this 2 hours. A short introduction, then we are discussing, and that you should listen very carefully, application documents and interview process, and we do also a small test or 2 small tests only to show some examples. Application documents we will distribute so that you have at final end you have copies for this. Let's get started with this point number 1, introduction, success in global world, virtual working environment, 0 hours contract. Maybe you are aware of it. If not, I will explain. Germany on the way to a new full employment, and good to know. I picked up this point number 4 to show there are bad news and good news, and you should know a little bit about this. Success in the global world. International management is on one hand globally everywhere the same. I put it under the headline, the name of the game is profit. Whatever you do, please have this in mind. In final end, your boss will ask you for profit. It maybe has some social components, etc., but final end is always the same. On the other hand, it varies because due to cultural differences, short-term oriented in US. That's the reason why I personally would never like to work in a US company, always profit every quarter. You can't make exact strategies and plans and etc. And on the other side, long-term oriented companies or countries like Japan, that's the reason why I work personally more than 20 years in a Japanese company. And you should know, and that's what we discussed yesterday, a little bit the cultural differences. I pick up Japan because I know it very well. I'll give you a good example. We had twice a year, we have been buying products, negotiating price, so with our colleagues. And we had to buy a product A, and we have been negotiating. We said we want to pay 100 euro for this product, and the Japanese colleagues said no, 110. And we could not find a solution. And I had always, and that is also good to know, I had always Japanese staff in my team because they know much better this, what they call nemawashi, to do. No? So, and we said in final end of the day, what shall we do? We did not find a solution. My Japanese team member said, wait, Mr. Rupsch, tomorrow morning we have a prize. I said, hey, what does it mean, tomorrow morning? I said, tomorrow morning. I said, what will you do? Yeah, we are going gambling tonight. If I'm the winner, it's our prize. If they are winning, it's their prize. So it's business, but that is reality. Yeah? So please have also those simple issues in mind. Or other issues, if you come to, I remember I visited a business partner in Hong Kong, and there was in a discotheque a fire. And some people died also out of his team. And next day came a priest, monk, yeah, a monk in his office, and he had to remove his pictures, his desk, his chair, etc. He said, if I would not do it, nobody would come anymore to my company, because that is typical. Okay, virtual environment. It's a mess. What happened? In Germany we have a magazine, Spiegel. It's most important magazine. And they reported on new ideas from IBM. All employees are getting in future members of a cloud. What does it mean? Here we have head office of IBM. They have only, they outsource their, most of their members. They have only a core staff for strategy and maintenance, customer relations. They are scouting here. And here we have an expert community. In this cloud, the company recruits group of experts specialized in each of the needed services. That means you put yourself in this cloud, you are a member of this cloud, and if they have a project, they are looking on global scale what they need. And as with Facebook, a done job is evaluated by mouse click. So you are automatically evaluated, and you have to, you get a certificate like in Facebook, if you have done a good job, if you have done a lousy job. So if I see this, I must say I'm very happy that I'm no longer in job. It's far away, but if IBM is studying it, it's not so far away. So please have this in mind. Yeah, please study carefully. That means if I take it in some bullet points, employees are means of production. They have only core staff in a company. Other employees in a global talent cloud. Selection based on certification model, if it's fair or unfair. You never know. No? If you get a shitstorm, then you have a problem. Selection based on certification model, as I said, factor of success is a digital reputation. There will be globalized labor contracts, and the responsibility is with the employees, is with you. Another very nice point, 0-hour contracts. Normally, I don't read any newspaper in holidays, and I did it once, and I saw an article in Financial Times. You can read it. Professional staff are now targets for companies seeking to reduce their costs. Yeah? The contracts which allow employers to pay for work only when they have demand are becoming more common in sectors such as health, education, and the media. Main target groups have seen doctors, lecturers, journalists. 0-hour contracts can help solve fluctuations, staffing needs, and may suit some people who want occasional jobs. So in hospitals, it's NHS hospitals, I believe it's in UK, there are 100,000 people meanwhile in 0 hours contracts. Looks not so good. It's for employer side, it's perfectly. No? Okay, and therefore I said it's a bad news, and I hope economy is going up, especially for our German team. Germany on the way to a new full employment. Why? We had so-called baby boomer years with a high birth rate, and they are over. 1964, we had in Germany 1.3 million births. 2010, 678. That means only 1.36 children per family. And what I learned, that's the same in Russia. No? You have also only 1.2 or whatever. No? It's lower than. So that means only due to this fact, at least in Germany, it's getting much better. We have a full employment in a country. Professor Wenke can correct me if I'm wrong, between 3 and 5%. Meanwhile, we have in Germany an unemployment rate in Bavaria 3.7%. It's full employment. Baden-Württemberg 3.9%. Some areas like Hessen, Rhineland-Pfalz 5.7, 5.3. So that means we are coming close to full employment in Germany. So let's go ahead. The first step is usually the most important step in your professional life. Why? Very simple. You never get a second chance to make your first impression. Sorry to say, but within 7 seconds, a decision is taken. If you enter a room, if you meet a person, you made your decision within 7 seconds, positive or negative. It's not a final decision, but you make your decision. So, prepare yourself in a proper way. So, application documents. The validity of documents, certificates, evidence codes, cover letter, and CV. Here, I made a mistake. I wrote down of high importance is cover letter, CV, qualification certificate, certificate of employment, and less photo. Sorry to say, but we come back to this point. Photo is not less important. At least it's very important if you send the wrong photo. If you send no photo, it's much better than sending the wrong photo. And there are cultural differences between Russia and Germany. Let's see, we will have a look later on in some CVs, and let's see what will happen. Certificates. It's completely different if you go around the world. Germany is addicted to documents, to certificates. Abroad, it's normally to get only a confirmation of work. Mr. Smith worked from August until October in a company ABC. He did a good job finally. Point. That's it. But in Germany, you need a very good certificate, and there are special evidence codes in the. The use of evidence codes is widespread, but also leads to a problem in interpretation. Always done to our complete satisfaction is very good. No question mark. Has tried to do the task assigned to satisfaction. That sounds a little bit lousy. Or the last one here, contributed by his sociability to improve the working atmosphere. It's illegal to write it. Yeah, he's an office comedian. If you write this and if you have this in your certificate. So at least in Germany. As I said, in US or UK and or even in France, nobody cares, no? But at least you should have heard about it. And I say why? Because in final end, if you get your certificate and you read it, you have, at least in Germany, a chance to say, hey, I don't agree. I don't agree with this sentence and with that sentence. And then you may have a nice discussion with your personal department, or at least together with works council, etc. So you have a chance to get a new one if you don't accept the formulation. So at least you should know what they write down, yeah, to say, hey, and raise your fingers and say, hey, I don't like it. Now we come to a simple point, but it's most important. Cover letter. You have unsolicited application or normal application. If you read something, somebody is looking for, wants to hire somebody and you are looking for this job. Please read very carefully the content. Those 5 points. Why is the candidate qualified for the position advertised? You may laugh, but you get very often, although you write down what you need very carefully, you get qualifications. You say, hey, did he read a different advertisement or whatever? So you should write down, why are you qualified? Confirm that you meet the requirements. No? Don't write down only, I have worked 20 years and I have had so many bosses, I know everything. It's not enough. Give a reason for application. Why has the applicant deliberately chosen this company? Please study. Nowadays, life is very easy. If you want to know anything about a company, you go to internet. In former times, to get an annual report, etc., you had to write, or you had to go to university or a chamber of commerce, etc. But nowadays, you can read everything. But you should be in a position to describe very carefully why you have chosen this company. Like me, if I want to go to a cigarette company, how can I explain as a non-smoker that I have chosen exactly this company? Or if I hate the war, why I should go to Rheinmetall in Germany, who are producing these famous tanks. So then you need good, please, it sounds easy, but you should have good arguments why you go exactly to this company. Because only to say, hey, they have a good reputation. Okay, it's nice to hear, but that I know. No, I want to know exactly, if you come to me, why you come to me exactly. Please explain me what is important for you, for my company. Is the letter clearly designed, formulated, and properly addressed? Especially in nowadays Germany, I don't know how it is in Russia. A lot of people don't know to write in a proper German language. Huh? You should do it. And you should also look very carefully how the persons are written. Write it in the right wordings. And I remember in my apprenticeship, I once sent a letter to a famous company called Fried Krupp. Krupp is well known. And I wrote Friedrich Krupp. This letter was sent back. Our company is named Fried Point Group, not Fried R. Point Group. So, yeah, you may laugh, but if you get an application and something is written wrong, maybe your first name or whatever, or your company, immediately out of 100, bye-bye. So, but, do it very short. Don't write your history. We have a CV. In this CV, and we come to this point, you can read anything, all the details you need. So I'm not, as a reader, I'm not interested in get 3 pages where you write down everything what you have done and why you are such a good guy or girl, etc. No, make it short. Pick up those points, 1 page if possible, because please have in mind, at least first personal department and later on management, you have to read 100, 150 letters. No? First you look to the form, then you look very carefully. If you read the first 2, 3 sentences and you are happy, then you study the rest. If not, bye-bye. Life is very simple. It's not always fair, but it's very simple. So please, cover letter, study it different times. Now we come to the CV. Maybe we can see some CVs you prepared. How can we do it best? You have stick or? Yeah, please. I don't know, 2 Germans and 2 Russian. Can I see some CVs? Voluntarily. Not all together, no? It's only 2 and 2. You have a stick? That we can see it all together.
On the screen?
Yeah. Yeah, because how? No. Flashcard. Who has? Maybe you can do a short. The first page. I would say, if you send pictures in Germany, it should be very professional. That means, like in our passports, no? No, don't smile too much. Don't show photos from your last party. Yeah, we are laughing. No, seriously. Take it passport-wise. No? It's a nice photo, but that is not what we expect in our forms. Okay, next page. No, the data here is okay, and it's also. I would never do it in that size. Take a normal. We come later on to how you should do it. No? Show it in a passport size, etc. It's only to get first impression and not that size. No? Okay, address is given, education. Stop, wait a minute. Go down, please. I would always recommend to start with your last education, with your last date. Start with the actual date and then go back in your history. No? So, okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's a little bit down. Here is good. Look, that she describes a little bit in language. What is your capability? Native language, intermediate, etc. And you describe also your computer skills and your hobbies. It's okay. It's a certificate. Yeah, it's okay. But that's exactly, that should be added to your CV as you did. No? You have a certificate, that's what I said. No? It's okay. In general, it's okay. The main parts are picked up in a proper way. Picture, at least for Germany, show a small passport picture. Okay, some more. Wait a minute. Picture size okay, address is okay, but CV objective is not part of a CV. No? And okay, you write down what you achieved, experiences, a little bit up. Education, interest, skills. You picked up more or less all points, but I would, you will see the best way finally. I would start with your education. Where you have been from when. You should start with your school, with your university, and then you should start with, then you should go ahead with experiences and, skills and interests, etc. So start really your life. Your life was not with kindergarten, but first your school. How long have you been at which school? No, what was certificate or what did you achieve at school? Then you go to university. What is your actual status? And then you go to skills, etc. Language. Yeah, okay. Language you put on. It's okay. Next one, please. To German. Question to the Germans. You know Europass? Who knows? Nobody? I'm happy. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. What is Europass? Europass Europass is published by the European communities to make your life easier. What is Europass? You can read it yourself. This all made possible by standardized documents, CV, certificate supplements, diploma supplement, language passport, mobility. You can find it in all languages under www.europass/info.de. For example, you find it in German and English. It makes your life easier because it's hard. If you are head of a management team, it's hard to understand all the codes, because we discussed yesterday that 5 point whatever is in Russia excellent. In Germany, if you have a 5, you missed everything. No? So, and if you go on global scale, how you should know what is good and what is lousy, no? Even in Europe. So, what are the objectives? To help citizens communicate their skills and qualification effectively when looking for a job or training. To help employers, that's what I said, to understand the skills and qualification of the workforce. To help education and training authorities define and communicate the content. So, now we come to the CV. That's what I said just in these examples. Give your personal information, job applied for, work experience, education and training, personal skills, additional information. It has three essential benefits: clarity, transparency, and correctness. Oh, back. Okay, I make my life very simple, but please listen also to what I'm telling you. Please, you can help me. You have here complete sets of what I'm now. You have it. It's okay. So if you have a look on the CV, you see this form is very simple, and you can get a blank form in internet, so you have to fill in only. Yeah. Should start with your personal information. You should say job applied for, and then the work experience. Start with the youngest date, and then you go back. Then education and training, your personal skills. You see English and other languages, and also this description of understanding, speaking, writing, and explications are giving later. Your communication skills. Describe what you have done. Maybe you have been head of a team or whatever. Your organizational skills, your computer skills, etc. Driving license, even you can add and additional information. So then you have a certificate supplement. That is the next you can see. You find 6 headlines, the title, translated title of the certificate, profile of skills and competencies, a range of occupations accessible to the holder of the certificate, official basis of the certificate, and officially recognized ways of acquiring the certificate. What are the main points? Making vocational qualifications comparable. Describes the country-specific standards relating to respective training occupation, and provide a brief summary of the knowledge, skills, and competences. So, everything is described, so make your life easy, use those forms, because it describes in the easiest way possible. Next point, diploma, no, sorry, maybe, okay, then we take this language passport. What are here the 4 major points? The cultural dimension. It lists all diplomas and certificates obtained and describes the individual linguistic experiences of every single person, professional aspects, and social competences. So you see here the levels from A1 to C2. You make a self-assessment of whatever language you know. And on the back side you see this European levels self-assessments grid. So you can then find yourself if you are A1 or C2, so somewhere in between, understanding, speaking, and writing. And please describe yourself as good as possible, because it might be, if you say you are fluently in English, that your counterpart will change the language during the interview from German to English, and if you can't follow, or you got lost, then you got really lost. No? So please, describe yourself in a proper way. This Europass mobility, making transnational competences visible, provides evidence of periods of learning spent in other European countries. It records learning experiences of any kind at any level. Yeah, you see here how many pages? Five pages, no? And yeah, here is one example of, I have to look myself what I picked up. So that is more an example if you go abroad, or if you are maybe one time working yourself in the HR department, you should know the education systems of the countries. And the education systems are completely different. You see here, this is a German example, yes. Okay, it's not necessary to pick up in detail, but you should know about. Please study carefully. You can use it easily. Have a look in internet. You can fill in. Then you have done it in a proper way. Make your life easy. So, now we are coming to interview. I pick up 5 points. The process itself, the content, looking for a job, examples of questions, and finally illegal questions. There are a lot of illegal questions in an interview, but very often they are raised. You can say you don't like it, but it's always on the Tanz auf der Rasierklinge, dance on razors, shape, I don't know. Okay. So, because we come also now to a small test, I would say, how the process looks like. Please, that is important for the German team, because the German team, they should select each two. They are HR managers. And then finally, I need 2 Russian students. They are looking for a job. And I have prepared 2 profiles, not me. One is from Siemens and one is from SAP. Yeah, what is the normal process? Welcome and introduction, brief explanation about the company, invite the candidate to provide a brief overview of his career, experience and education. Huh? Entry in the dialogue. Finish the interview by asking the applicant what information he is still missing. Communicate the further process. Farewell and thanks. It looks very simple. Yes, it is very simple if you follow the rules. So, content. It's not necessary for me, you can read yourself. From introduction, presentation of the company, Q&A, that is the content of a normal interview. And I go to all the details. You will see what a normal global company has crazy questions to ask you. As I said, we need 2 teams. First of all, that are the 2 jobs. First is a little bit more tough, I must say. Siemens, always if I see advertisement of Siemens, they are writing 1 page, 1 full page of qualification, etc. Okay, it's only now we make here only a test. It's not that we go through all this list. They are looking for finance manager, global account management, and SAP is also a well-known German company looking for a working student. You see, it's always M and F. It's a must in Germany that you're always looking for both, male and female. It's a must. So they're looking for working student, operations and delivery management support. Oh, I thought I had, no, then how can I go back? Who? You and? Who is together? Yeah, yeah, okay. Okay. And now I need, that is much more important, I need 2 Russian students, voluntarily. You have, I would say, 20 minutes to prepare yourself. Who wants to go to Siemens? Who wants to go to SAP?
So it's only to have a rehearsal, to get the points.
And
so
it
far,
should be fine
that is,
at the end an open discussion. What you realize, hey, what did they good, or in your understanding, what did they wrong? It's not that you get some notes and marks, etc. It's only that you make a test, how it will look like final end. So, the 2 candidates.
That's why I'm here.
Mr. Kuchin, what do you want to attain in 5 or 10 years?
Well, firstly, I'm finding myself in a high level, maybe top manager of this company in specialized of accountant and maybe a good
Yes.
well, sorry, I'm nervous because
No.
I'm at first time at this interview here.
Yes.
It's very hard for me. Well, but I will do my best.
The reason to apply for this job?
Well,
Came to our company.
yeah, I know about Siemens. I know something about Siemens. I know this that it's a very big company, international company, and while I was studying, my major was accountant, and I decided that if you're finding a person for this job, I just try. Yeah.
And can you describe for us an example of what it means for you to do a good job? Can you do an example?
An example? For example, if my boss said to me to do something, and and it takes to me, for example, 3 days, and he know about it. He said, just do it, and after 3 days, I've done it, and he will really enjoy this job. Responsibility
Yeah.
for me, it's the most the most important thing here in my job, in every job. Yes.
Okay, it's positive. How will you keep up to date in your field?
Well, I know this. I know that accountant is every time is changing, and something new things, something new aspects of this job or this
Every day.
every day.
Yes.
Yes, and of course, I need to be in time with these exchanges with these changes, and I need to
Be prepared.
to be
for
prepared,
such
and
situation.
how to do this, maybe through every day, day-to-day updating my resources, internet
Your
resources,
environment. Yeah.
environment, equipment, and maybe watching TV news, of course, financial news, and reading some economic journal magazines, and I think that's
Maybe
yes.
you have important contacts to special experts or something else.
Yes, of course.
Sometimes you have to work with difficult colleagues in a team. So how do you behave?
Well,
Take your time.
well, if I'm not rude with other people. Well, I'm loyal, and I think that each people have their own way to have a contact with them.
Individual way.
Yeah, in individual ways, and actually for me it's not hard to find this way. I think that so difficult situation you are talking about never will be with me. Yes.
No, in a team.
In a
If
team,
some colleagues are difficult in your time, how would you behave? Are you a calm person, or can't you?
Work with difficult characters or something.
well, if we need to do the job, we need to be friendly. And if we get a problem, we need to solve this.
All right.
That's why I think we will talk about it and to have some just solve it. Just find a solution for the problem.
Okay. Can you describe us difficult situations or cases that found through a successful conclusion?
Well, yes. When I was working in my last job, I was an event manager, and my duty was to organize and celebrate some events, some champions. Well, I produced an energy drinks, and there was one guy. He was the boss of one cafe. He didn't want to he didn't allow me to do this event, and he got mad. What?
He forbid it.
Yeah, I don't know the meaning of this. Sorry. And I tried to talk to him. I tried to have deal meeting. He really maybe hate me, but
Or make a compromise.
yes, we make a compromise, and it was interesting. We met when we play football together, and when I give him a pass, he make a goal. After that, we decided to talk about this energy drink again, and we
You came to a better conclusion.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
it was funny, but it works.
That was our question actually. Do you have any question for us?
Well, of course, yes. You are finding a person who, firstly, as I can see, is a counter and a global counter, and it's very responsible work and very specialized. But I've well, I studied in Russia, and there is there is some difference between Russian and Germany system accountant. That's why I'm asking. I need I need some time to prepare for new type of accountant for me, German. And the good thing that's analyzing, economy analyzing in our countries are the same. So maybe I can be analyzer management or not, or well.
You can take experience from Russia to our company, I think. Or what do you mean?
I mean that it's too hard for me to combine global accounting and analyzing together.
It's difficult.
Yes, because accounting is different.
Yes.
Maybe if it's possible to start with analyzing, after that I will learn your accounting and.
Yes, of course, it will be step by step.
Yes.
With this.
Okay. Applause. Really. Thank you very much. But you see, even if it's only here in a classroom, you are getting nervous. But that's what you have to learn. That's what you have to learn. And I must say, okay, we prepared a little bit the questions. It's tough, no? Such questions, how to overcome critical situations, etc. But he did at least 3 points I remember very well. First, if you are nervous, you should show it. Always show yourself. No? Nobody will blame you. It's clear. Don't try to be an actor. No? Sometimes you have candidates, you get the feeling they have seen some movies beforehand and they play a role. You immediately realize it if somebody is playing a role. So be yourself. You are nervous. Sorry. Yes, no? You will get your answer, but give me 1 minute. No? And at the final end, your question was good, but you did not come to the final point, maybe due to English. But it's always very good if you say, hey, I'm well prepared in Russia, I'm prepared to go abroad, but will you give me the time, the training, to get the knowledge I'm missing? That's what you wanted to say. No? Yeah, you tried to describe it a little bit more. No? That was second point, was very good, and also third point, how to overcome critical situations, that you said, hey, then we played football together. That shows, first of all, you are a team player, not only verbally, you are a team player, you play football. And you solved your problems by football. That would immediately say in my brain, hey, good guy. No? Because nowadays everybody is team player. Yeah. No? It's okay. That's what you learn in internet. No? Then you make sticks. No? But that's not real life. No? Okay. Very good interview. So, next one. Okay. Please. And that was time when I was a little bit busy. And then I got an applicant from one of the top European business schools from Madrid. That was a guy, it took some weeks before I had the time. The guy came, entered my office immediately. Before I said something, he took his chair, he opened his box and started talking. Seriously, he came from Madrid to Cologne. After 2 minutes, I told him, interview is finished. Bye-bye. He could not understand the world anymore. But what shall I do with such a guy? He blamed me. Why did it take so long time before you know we are so important? I should have asked him, do you want my job immediately or do I have time to hand it over to you? So be careful with the process until you achieve your place. Another issue. No candidate knows that the first test was done by my secretary. She picked up all the candidates downstairs. Typical behavior of men, no? Against secretary. Hey, what is secretary? When this candidate entered my office, it was that or that. Yeah. Crazy comments in the elevator, or no, not polite, no, please secretary go first in the simple things. Before the candidate entered my office, I asked her, what happened? So, very simple things, but that's life. So, no, don't do simple mistakes. So, now you knock the door, please sit down, please, let's start.
Hello, can I come in?
Hello, Mrs. Elosian. My name is Alexandra Ebel. I'm the HR specialist. And yes, please take place.
Did you find us well? Did you find us well?
How was the way?
How was the ride to us? How was the ride to us? Was it well?
Yes, I was watching.
Can you please a little bit louder?
So you applied for the working place as a student in our operation and delivery management support. And as you know, our company, SAP, we focus on the development of software. So my question is, why did you apply for our company?
Your company is a very developed company, and I want to work here and create my skills
Later. Okay, you say you want to create your skills. So what's your goal? What do you want to achieve in 5 to 10 years?
In 5 or 2 years, I want to attain high positions or to be near to high positions in your company.
Okay, in our company we have a lot of teamwork, so sometimes you have to work with very difficult groups. So how do you behave if you have problematical participants?
I try to cut sharp moments and continue the work. And I try to communicate with different people.
Ja, nicht so schön.
Okay. So, when have you been last year under big pressure, and how do you cope with this big pressure?
In this situation, I try to understand my boss and continue my work till end, because I know that I work until the work must be end.
Can you describe us some difficult situations or cases that found sought you a successful conclusion?
For example, we had a big delegation and we must to prepare something for this delegation, and there were different problems why not all people wanted to work hard and do the work, and we tried to I tried to do this all fine.
Okay, in this job it's very important to keep up to date, so how will you keep up to date for the job?
I visit different conferences and I like traveling and meeting different people and learn from them what we do, what we say, and try to do also when I like it.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
One question. Why do you think we should take especially you for this job?
I have many ideas. I think you can like my ideas. I can my hard work, and work for me is on the first place.
Okay, then do you have more questions?
No, that's all.
Okay, thank you very much. Do you have some questions?
No, I don't have question. I just no, I don't have question.
You don't have any question. Okay, then thank you very much. You will hear from us in 2 weeks. So
Thank you.
Thing opposite to me, and I have to listen. You can't open your mouth. I know it's nervous, yes, but please. In final end, it got more smoothly and it's got more better. We could understand you. Yeah, okay. It's always also a language problem. If you have to communicate in your mother language, it's a different story. But you may come to the point that you have to discuss in English or in German or whatever. No? So please show at least, yes, I'm nervous, but no. Yes. And try to find some more tricky answers. No? Not only yes, I'm prepared, etc. And I would also recommend you. You should have questions. No? Not only no, everything is fine. Okay. No, you should have questions, because if you don't have questions, I get the feeling you are not well prepared. No. If at least the question is you pick up from your counterpart. You said, I told you that I want to be in 5 years in top management. How can you support me? No? Can you support me? You show your competence. Can you support me? No? It's, you heard I want to be in top management in 5 years. It's not only my part, so I need support. I need training sessions. I have to go abroad, no, or things like that. Please show that you are well prepared. You should always raise 2 or 3 questions, and not what is my first salary and what is my second salary. No, forget those questions. No, but you should be prepared. But I know it's problematic. Okay. But I feel for all of you, and if you have time, we can discuss it also furthermore. It's a good impression, a good feeling, how it looks like real life. So, and now I continue I have some to assess the abilities of candidates. That are standard questions from international company. If my memory is correct, is that are questions, official questions from HR department from General Electric. You see what they are always asking for. No? Provide an example of when you actively sought information to understand customer circumstances, etc. No? You see, that's what some of our HR people also picked up. No? That is one example. External. They want to know if you are a clear thinker. No? Tell me about a project you led where your actions and decisions impacted multiple organizations and or functions. Okay, if you are a newcomer in a job, it's hard to explain. But take this football example. No? Yes, I was team head of this team, no? And when we had difficulties to find 11 players for this team, I was the one who picked up the phone and rang other friends, etc. Very simple. It's very simple. Even as a student, you can show that you took initiative and you are a clear thinker. Imagination. To take risk on both people and ideas. Tell me about a time when you came up with an innovative solution to a challenge. Yeah. Innovation. It can be also during your time at university. You had imaginations. Next one. Inclusiveness. Describe a time you motivated a group of people to achieve results beyond expectations. That was our first candidate. He said he wants to please his boss if he fulfills within 3 days. I would have told him, hey, expectation was 3 days. I managed it in 2.5. No? That is, yeah. How can you motivate a team? Do you have ideas? No? If somebody is asking for 10, you can tell, I tried with my team to achieve 11. What did you do? How did you motivate people? Expertise. Yeah, that's what was asked also. No? What are you doing permanently? The knowledge of today is out tomorrow. So you have been always state of the art, let me call it that way. You have been on the top level of expertise. You read, internet is okay, but that would be not enough for me. Because on one side I'm a friend of internet, on the other side, sorry to say, to bring it in one sentence, today's students, not to blame them, please apologize beforehand, they have more information than we had in past, but they have less knowledge in average. Because in our time, if you want to get an information, you had to go to the library, you had to read books, to study. 1 book, 2, 3 books. And that took a long time. But then you had the knowledge. Nowadays, you go to the internet, you get the information, next day you lost it. You write it down. So therefore, internet is okay, but if you want to convince somebody that you are doing more, like you said, you are visiting congresses, etc., no? Or you do a training seminar, or you read newspaper permanently. No? I skipped the next 2, but I took last year we invited a gentleman from ASK Chemicals, HR manager, and I picked up 2 pages of his presentations. Criteria for high potentials. And that's what we learned here. In 5 years, you are high potential, and in 5 years, you want to be top manager. So, what are the criteria? Dynamic, charismatic, flexible, Very important. Flexible. Fair, passionate, energetic, sets the example. Yes, you are a forerunner. You have to show your competence. You have to show every day you are the best. Don't be arrogant. That is negative. It must come slowly, silent. You have to show silent that you are the best. In final end, if your colleagues come, if they have a problem and they come to you, can you help me to solve this problem? Then you are the winner. That is the one and only solution. Your colleagues must come voluntarily to you, that you support them. Thrives on pressure. Presence, dependable. Here, that's what I said, has the reputation for not only meeting goals, but exceeding them voluntarily. You get a goal, 3 days, you achieve in 2.5. You get a goal 100. By chance, Mr. Boss, I could achieve 105. Okay. Next page. Skills. Skills. That was the first one. Communication. Communication skills. So, oral and written skills and exceptional ability to convey thoughts and ideas. Also written. Written skills. That is not SMS, no? With smileys, etc. You should be able, in final end, if it's coming to written skills, you should bring all your ideas on one page. It's most important, please believe me, the most important thing you have to learn. Also reports, 1 page. It's easy to write 50 pages. No. Bring all your ideas on 1 page. Very, very tough. Business acumen, learning attitude, capable of learning, analytical, leadership, mentor, takes opportunities to improve the abilities of those around him or her. That's what I told beforehand. Your colleagues must come to you and say, hey, can you help me? I have a problem, I have an idea. Can you help me? I give you a beer this evening. Okay. Then you're on the winner side. So, illegal questions during an interview. Questioning regarding political party, church, trade union membership, financial situation, current salary, wage garnishments, previous convictions, pregnancy, it's forbidden, disease, ancestry origin, military, family circumstances. No? We have an Equality Act, discrimination and political correctness. That is in Germany and in the US. I don't know how it is in Russia, Sergey. Is it allowed in Russia?
In Russia, the main that if you want to work, they can ask you any type of questions. There are no illegal questions. You play on their field, not on your own field. Only maybe in top management structures, they are a little bit inconvenient, but anywhere else, they can ask anything.
Huh?
Moreover, Helmut, in some jobs, the completion of military service is
a precondition, no?
Is a precondition, right? So maybe only the political interests are forbidden to be asked, but all the other questions are not illegal.
So that is at least in our country. I don't know if it's in all European countries. In US it is clear. There are illegal questions. But as I said, if somebody is asking you, then you have to decide yourself to tell your counterpart, it's illegal, I don't say anything, and then look to his face, and then you know if it was a proper answer or not. No?
I think that is a commitment in the European Union.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Okay, let me end this morning presentation. Oh my God, in time, 12. All business is people. That's the headline of my business life. That motto has accompanied me all my business life. And believe me, that's the reality. All business is people. If you like each other, it's not always a qualification of somebody. We know it from football. You can, if you have money, like some Russian billionaires, they may ask for 11 top-ranked players, but that does not mean that you have a team. No? Chelsea, for the time being. Good example. Yeah, so please find always the right people in your team. They must be qualified, they must be loyal, they must have the ideas, they must have potential. Yeah, but first of all, you should speak the same language, you should have the same targets, you must trust each other. From that point of view, I wish you, although we are not at an end, for your future business life, all the best. I hope you learned a little bit today, and maybe one day you are sitting on such a chair and you remember one or the other point we discussed today. Thank you very much.